So I imagine you're a bit disappointed after last week. What's been the message to the club to make sure there's a response on Saturday?
We're just about improving our football. It's very difficult coming off the bye. Our front half game was in good order in the first half year. It's not in good order, so we've got really things to work on and educate. So we just got to keep moving on, really.
Collingwood are coming off the bye as well. Do you think you'll be able to capitalise off that?
I think I'll be able to.
They're coming off the bye. Do you think you'll be able to capitalise off that?
Well, that's the aim. Yeah, that's the aim.
With Collingwood as well, they're quite a formidable side this year, obviously, but you haven't played them since round 2 last year. What do you make of them?
Yeah, they're a formidable team. They rank 1 defence, number 1 scoring off intercept, number 1 in particularly scoring off stoppage intercept at 24 points a game, so which is well above the comp average. So they press the ball really well in their attacking mid. I think they're in the top 3, but their defensive mid-intercept game, again, they're number 1 in the comp. I think they about 25 of them. They go back and score about 40% ratio. So we're going to have to handle the intercept game. They're really interesting, like contested ball, right? Which talks to the modern game a bit. Like I think on average, over the last month, minus 22, right? So they beat you on the outside, and they beat you with system on the outside in intercept game. So they get it back off you and go, and you don't touch the ball. So. And least pressure applied to them. So they shaped the ground really well. They've got a lot of experience, least giveaways. So, yeah, we know them pretty well.
Talk about pressure. Do you think Winnipeg will go to Dacos?
More than likely, yeah. Which one, I don't know. Josh is pretty handy.
Yeah, true.
You get one, the other one gets you, right? Thank God Peter's not playing.
Alex Harry, will he debut on Saturday?
We think he will, yeah. We got him right in the calculations. I'd never try and preempt it before our last training session because, as someone once told me, anything can happen, right? So, well, hopefully it gets through, but it's pretty exciting. I think, they'll put us second for debuts this year, 7. Over the last 2 years, I think we're top 2. All our data sets, young players, debutants, games into players 21 and under, over the last 2.5 years, we sit comfortably in the top 4 in the comp. So, we'll keep pursuing that.
What about Philippa and Dow? How are they going?
Yeah, Philippa will train, then we'll decide whether we play him or not. And Paddy Dow's a great story. If he gets through today, he'll play. Obviously got that staph infection in his, I'm not sure it's obvious to everyone, but we'll fill everyone in. He had the staph infection in his knee, had a blister on his toe. Then he had a knock on his knee and the staph went up through the blister into his knee and it resulted in numerous arthroscopes. It was a really serious situation. He's carried himself incredibly well. I don't think I've met a better young man in football. His resilience, his temperament, his embracing of his teammates. He loves the club here. So we're thrilled that he comes back and plays as long as everything goes smoothly this week. And he's a talented midfielder that we've sorely missed.
That's a few potential ins. Who's out?
No, not many surprises in life. You might have to wait for that one. You've been very good, but you just crossed the line. Yeah.
I might cross the line a little bit again. What about a NAS contract? Do you have any update?
Yeah, I'm not here to discuss this move. I'm here to talk about Collingwood. So.
What about, I'll ask it anyway, Max Healy, is there an update?
We're progressing. Yeah, we've got a little bit to work through yet, but yeah, we're really optimistic there.
You mentioned on AFL 360 the other night about a rule you'd change and sort of a push in the back rule. Is there any sort of adaptation you make to it? And sort of
so what was that one? I missed the start of it.
AFL 360.
I didn't see you there.
AFL 360 on Monday spoke about changing the push in the back rule. I think that would be a rule that you would change if you had the opportunity to. Sort of.
Yeah, I think that was just a fun segment. I leave the rules to the rules committee. I had to come up with something, so I made that up on the run.
And then you also said last week at the end of the press conference, there's no magic bullet in footy. So where do you see the rest of the year? Are you still aiming for finals, or is it looking to the future?
Well, there's no magic bullet in regard to getting to where we want to get to, right? Like, there's no time warp machine. Not Doctor Who, jump in and we're 4 years down the track. You can't buy experience, you've got to bang games into them. Our strategic plan's it's evolved, but been really clear. Again, I'll just go back to the data set. The data set's indisputable, so I can really comfortably talk about games into players 22 and under. Like, you threw up Naz. When I got here, he'd played 1 year, so Corey Enright, so let's get him to half back. So over 23, 24 and 25, he's become an elite player of the competition. So he sits basically 22 and under, doesn't he? And Mitch Owens and Caminiti, Philippou, Wilson. So we're doing a lot right, but it takes time. And then we've got young players like Travaglia playing, hopefully Taru this weekend. So that's what I mean, it takes time. And I did reference other clubs, and I mean, Adelaide's a great model. Like on metrics of young players and players 22 and under, I think they were second, third, fourth, and this year they're 16th. So at some point you get that experience, you attract players to your club, and you pop. So yeah, the strategic plan's clear. It's nothing new.
And with Darcy Wilson, how's he been progressing in the VFL?
Yeah, played pretty well. Not many first round draft picks, about pick 14 or 15 coming and played 34 games straight, as Philippou did, as Caminiti pretty much did. But at some point you've got to go without the pressure of AFL football and the intensity and just go back and develop your craft. So we felt he did that pretty well.
Do you have a timeline for getting back into the senior side?
No, not really.
Happy to help.